Wine Library TV, aka WLTV, and this is BBQ Central.
Start the game! Let's go!
We'll do it live. Okay. Well, do it live! I'll write it and we'll do it live!
So to get that perfect barbecue, you use wood. Are you sure it's safe? Whatever. We put the lighter fluid on, strike your match, and... Oh! Should we call the fire department? That might be a good idea.
All right, good evening, and welcome to the Really Big BBQ Central Show. It's the show that talks about all things important to the world of barbecue and grilling. And we are broadcasting live and direct from the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame city of Cleveland, Ohio. It is the barbecue capital of the North Coast. I'm your program host, Greg Rempe. Happy to have you aboard here. If you want to jump in, more than happy to have you. It's a phone number. Give it a call, 216-220-0966. That's 216-220-0966. In lieu of the phone call, you can drop me an email, and here's how you do that.
You can get in touch with the show by sending an email to greg@bbqcentralshow.com or on the Twitter and Instagrams at BBQ Central Show.
Anything else you want to find out about the show can be found at the main website, thebbqcentralshow.com. And here's what's happening in case you didn't get the newsletter. It's a big first hour. And as I was preparing for said show over the last handful of days, the first hour has been set literally for weeks with three of the biggest names in the barbecue and grilling community. The second hour took shape all in the matter of 72 hours. And once I had a full look at the roster of guests that we had this evening, and I would never try to disparage any other show that I've done because I try and make each show that I do the best show since the last show. But if we're talking about potential and guest roster and guest hoarding and all of that, October 30th, 2018 could go down potentially as one of the best shows ever in the history of the face of barbecue entertainment talk history. In the first hour, I will be joined by my friend, a longtime sponsor, the longest time sponsor of this show, a pitmaster who has won some of the highest honors any pitmaster can win. Also in the business of barbecue, obviously, since he's a sponsor of the show. My good pal, Bob Trudnak from the Barbecue Guru is in, but not just Bob. No. You might know him as Mo Kason or Big Mo Kason, who will be joining me also from Australia. That's right. The land down under. Not only will Mo Kason and Bob Trudnak be joining me in the first hour, I will be joined by freshly minted Barbecue Hall of Famer and pitmaster of Cool Smoke, Tuffy Stone. We'll be rounding out the triad of barbecue experts in the first hour, and we will be doing it at 9:14. We will be holding them over for 9:35. We have a lot of stuff to get to, not the least of which, or the precipice of this particular interview, but roughly 2 months have transpired between when we booked to when we could actually make it happen because everybody's schedule's a little different, given the fact of the stardom that I have in the first hour. But tonight is the night. Everything lines up, so we have them on. But the three of these guys took part in a very unique barbecue competition roughly 2 months ago out in the Netherlands. So I wanted to talk to them about how the trip came to be, what the competition was like, what the temperature of Southern-style barbecue is in the Netherlands, how the Dutch put their own spin on barbecue, and a number of other things. Obviously, in between the time that they were there and now, Tuffy was inducted into the Hall of Fame. The Jack Daniels has taken place. The American Royal competition took place. There's business to be talking about, books to be recapped. I mean, who knows what's going to be happening here over the next hour or so when it comes to Bob Trudnak, Mo Kason, and Tuffy Stone. But that's what you have set up here for the first 50 to 60 minutes. Then we will move to the second hour. And at 10:14, you will find another, probably the second longest running sponsor of the show. I would say mid-August we caught up with him because he had just taken down the Reserve Grand Championship title at the American Royal Open. But tonight we will catch up with him, and we will call him the 2018 Jack Daniels Grand Champion. That's right, I'm talking about Dave Bosca. Butcher Barbecue joins me to recap the big weekend. By the way, that's the 30th annual Jack Daniels World Championship Barbecue Cook-Off. And Dave comes home with the hardware. Home to Oklahoma, I mean, but since I know Dave low these many years, I will say home because I feel I'm a fellow Oklahomian, at least in this case, because of my connection with Dave over the last number of years, both in a personal and professional sense. You know, as I think back to all of the pitmasters that have won and then come on the show, a very small few, and it was also validated by some of the embedded correspondence as we have daily talks and text messagings, that this one feels like perhaps almost the most connected we feel to any big major winner. I have a little bit more of a connection with some of the other guys that have won as well, just because of length doing the show. But as far as the embedded correspondence segments or the embedded correspondence we're talking about, they feel specifically attached to this particular win for Dave because of their dealings with him outside of the show as well. So congratulations to Dave Bosca, who is the 30th Jack Daniels winner, and we will talk to him at 10:14 to recap the big weekend. And then at 10:35, we will be talking about, you know what, the upcoming King of the Smoker with Big Papa Smokers pitmaster Sterling Ball. Come on now. Very excited to talk about Sterling as we unveil the teams that will make what, as rumor might have it, we will get full confirmation from Sterling Ball in a little over an hour and 20 minutes from now about this being the last year of King of the Smoker. So we'll have to wait a little bit to get confirmation on that, but I have heard from very credible sources that this could be the last year of King of the Smoker. So if you've been waiting for your name to get called all these many years and you are in the hopper, this could be it for you. It's all or nothing, or at least it's setting up to be an all or nothing. And that's what you have going on this evening. Bob Trudnak, Tuffy Stone, Big Mo Kason, first hour. Your most recent Jack Daniels World Championship Grand Champion, Dave Bosca, top of the second, and Sterling Ball coming out of the bullpen to help me close it out this evening. First and foremost, if you are not following me socially, please do that immediately on Instagram and Twitter at BBQ Central Show. Obviously, Facebook/BBQ Central Show. That's how you can find me there. All video archives of the show are on that Facebook page as well. You don't have to wait for 1 hour on Wednesday, 1 hour on Thursday. You can just grab the video replay right there on Facebook if you would care to. Many of you have asked over the course of the week how my daughter's volleyball match went last Wednesday. If you recall, she was helping me draw the winner of the Bubba Burger contest that we finally got off. And we briefly ended the segment by looking ahead to her district semifinal match. And she gave her team a 70% shot at winning. And after taking the reigning state champs to a fifth and deciding set, they lost.
Get that big stuff out of here.
So that's the end of the high school career. However, going into her junior year in high school, Bobby verbally committed to play volleyball at Walsh University, which is a Division II school in North Canton, Ohio, so just about an hour and 15 minutes down the road. So while this is the end of the high school career, she will advance and play at the next level. So we're pretty excited about that. Now we are just waiting for her to get to the official national signing day, so that can be a contractual obligation from the school side as well. By the way, I'm totally biased when I say this, but her college coaches are absolutely awesome. They drove 2+ hours up from their campus last week to watch her play last Thursday night in her last high school, what ended up being her last high school match. That just doesn't happen anymore given the rise in popularity of club and travel sports. And it makes sense, right? Why would you go to a high school match for one player, maybe two players, when you can go to a JO tournament over a weekend when the schedules don't compete with their regular season schedules, that being college? And instead of seeing one or two prospects, you can see hundreds of volleyball players at the elite level in one setting, no argument. So the fact that they came up to watch her play what ended up being her last game, totally tremendous, totally respected, totally appreciated. Cassie Cadera and the gang out there at Walsh University, mad props and shout-outs from your friends here at the BBQ Central Show. And there you have it. Tough match, tough loss. High school's done, college waiting. Speaking of waiting, Bob Trudneck, Mo Kason, Tuffy Stone are in the wings. But first, why not tell you about the BBQ Guru? That's right. They've always believed that outdoor cooking should be easy because it can be, especially with the Monolith BBQ Guru Edition grill. The Monolith is the world's first temperature-controlled smoker with a built-in power draft fan. This means smarter control, greater freedom with automatic temperature control. Easily choose your cooking time and temperature and let the Monolith do the work of a sous chef or a barbecue pitmaster with minimal effort. You now have oven-like precision at the grill each and every time to serve the tastiest, juiciest meals. And you can visit their website by going to BBQ Guru, that's bbqguru.com. Or if you have any questions, give them a shout. They're happy to talk to you. They have a team of experts out there ready to answer each and every question to make sure that you are specifically outfitted with the right equipment. That number is 800-288-GURU. That's 800-288-GURU. And as I had said before, they'll make sure you're outfitted with exactly what you need to get you up and running right out of the box. Are you looking for a new cooker? The shotgun cooker is out, available, and ready to rock and roll. Obviously compatible with all the BBQ Guru temperature control devices. Speaking of compatible controllers, that Monolith, because it has the fan already built into it, if you have a Guru controller already, you don't have to buy a new controller if you get a Monolith. Just run the controller down to the fan and away you go. Plus a whole bunch of other really cool products. The rib ring that was introduced a little earlier in the year, that'll double capacity for rib cooking on a lot of those ceramic style cookers. I've actually seen it go on, I believe, the big Weber Smoky Mountain cookers. So give them a look-see, bbqguru.com. That's bbqguru.com, or give them a call, 800-288-GURU. The BBQ Guru continues to be a breakthrough in barbecue technology. We will have the BBQ Guru, Bob Trudneck, also Cool Smokes Tuffy Stone, and Big Mo Kason's Barbecue. Mo Kason right after this. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Broadcasting live from the BBQ Central Show studios in Cleveland, Ohio. You're listening to the BBQ Central Show. Once again, here's your host, Greg Rempe.
All right, welcome in. This portion of the show is being brought to you by Butcher Barbecue, makers of award-winning injections, marinades, rubs, seasonings, barbecue sauces, grilling oils, all of them used to win the 30th annual Jack Daniel's World Barbecue Championship. Tested on the competition circuit, obviously, and in backyards worldwide. Be the pit master of your neighborhood and visit butcherbbq.com to stock up now. That's butcherbbq.com. Always trust your butcher. All right, my guests in the first hour certainly need no introduction. All of them accomplished pitmasters, one of which recently inducted in the 2018 Barbecue Hall of Fame a few months ago. They all journeyed over to the Netherlands to take part in a very unique barbecue competition, kind of a Ryder Cup of barbecue. Since then, there have been some pretty cool things that have happened that we can also catch up on. So let's go ahead and race to the Traeger Grills hotline and welcome longest-running sponsor of the show, Pitmaster of the Barbecue Guru, Bob Trudnak, Pitmaster of Mo Cason Barbecue, Mo Cason, and one of the most recognizable and accomplished pitmasters to ever grace the competition circuit, newly minted Barbecue Hall of Famer Tuffy Stone. Gentlemen, appreciate you making time for the show. So let me just do this because we have a lot of logistics going on and double check. Bob, are you there?
I am here, Greg.
Bob is there. Tuffy, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Tuffy's there. Mo Cason in Australia, are you there?
Yeah, I'm sitting on the Rock Island catching 3-pound average.
Oh.
Yes, I am.
I cannot believe that we have made these connections. Mo, let's start with you. I mean, this is probably the second most, this is terrible English, by the way, the second biggest effort I have ever seen in recent memory for a guest to make the live show. As I had mentioned, you're in Australia. You're roughly 15 hours ahead or whatever it is there. What are you doing in Australia, my man?
Oh, man, I'm doing the events with Barbecue Events Australia. We had barbecue classes here the last couple of days. We had a cigar, bourbon, whiskey night last night at one of the local really nice cigar places, and had a class on cigars. Bourbon was great. And then today is a fishing charter with a bunch of individuals that are all fishing, and we're off for Watness Island catching these 40-pound adolescent amberjacks. Killer, awesome, having a good time. Just got 2 big ones, lost another big one. It's just absolutely blast. Doing that, I've got events tomorrow, the rest of the week, and then we have a barbecue festival this weekend. I'm actually going to be competing, but I'm going to have some meet and greets out there at the festival.
Mo, you've been down under a number of times here. Like, what's the temperature of barbecue, whether it be on the competition side or, you know, just the backyard Jane and Joe down there? What is barbecue like?
It's huge. I mean, Australian barbecue has taken off. It's unbelievable. It's just grown by leaps and bounds. But like I said, Australia has a rich history of grilling and cooking outdoors. So it's an easy transition for me to go to the low and slow. And it's amazing how it's embraced throughout the whole country, man. It's just people building pits, people making rubs, people open up barbecue restaurants. They have fully embraced and love the culture of barbecue, man.
Bob, have you ever been to Australia before?
I haven't, but I plan on getting there soon.
Do you have a distribution down there from a business standpoint?
I don't yet, but I'm working on that.
Tuffy, have you been down there before?
Yes, sir, I have. Mo and I have had the pleasure of being able to go down there with Jay Beaumont and do meat stock. I was in Auckland, New Zealand this year. Mo was there in Auckland the year before. The year before that, I was in Melbourne, and the year before that, I was in Sydney.
Tuffy, would you agree with Mo's assessment of where the love of barbecue is for Australians? I mean, and I would say, you know, I agree. There has been a rich history of just grilling and live fire cooking down there, but as far as Southern style barbecue, how do you feel they've taken to it?
You know, I think Mo would agree with me. The attitude of the Aussies, they live life to its fullest. They're living, they're outdoors a lot. They're not in this mindset of I'm going to work, and save all my money, and then when I retire, I'm going to travel. They're traveling. You know, there's a lot of them are getting like 6 weeks of vacation a year.
Wow. And
they're traveling young, and they're going all over the place. And they love. They're so I don't know. They're just great people, enthusiastic. And when I went over there the first time and saw what the Australians were doing with barbecue, a lot of these guys are cooking for pits that they made themselves. It's just a lot of energy, a lot of great food, just really positive.
Yeah, right on, brother.
Tuffy Stone joining me, Mo Cason joining me, Bob Trudnak joining me here on the show. All right, guys, so let's go ahead and dial it back if you can. A few months ago, there was an event that took place over in the Netherlands. The three of you guys go together. Bob, if you could kind of set it up for us, how does this event come to be? Are you guys contacted individually or all together, or is one tapped and somebody say, hey, gather a couple of your friends to come over? How does it all shake out?
Well, I think it all started a couple years ago. I was at a barbecue contest in Germany, and heard about some of these different events. So I went to an event in the Netherlands, and I met Don Hamon, and he told me about this Ragafest barbecue festival, and how one of his ideas was to have a Ryder Cup style barbecue contest, where we would put up 5 American teams against the best 5 European teams, and have a global barbecue challenge. So right back then it was a concept. We all had busy lives and a lot of things took place, but it didn't happen the following year. But we met again in Germany the following year at a contest, and we talked about trying to work to get it done for 2018. So Don and I, put our heads together with a lot of other people's help. I just kind of helped push him along a little bit from the American side, but he did all the legwork. And we said, we're going to do this in 2018, and then started contacting people between him and I, and it came together.
Do you put a short list together, Bob, of pitmasters that you think you want to take over? Is it pitmasters that have maybe already been out of the country and have some type of an experience, being in a European setting?
Well, I mean, Mo and I work a lot together, so him and I were talking about it quite a bit. And when I mentioned the opportunity to him, he said, absolutely, I would love to get over there. Don had mentioned Tuffy. I knew Tuffy, was interested in doing some things overseas, so we started to talk. Byron Chisholm from Butt Rub has been going over there for years, and he was in. And Jim and Jeff Elser with Sweet Smoke Q, I knew there was some interest there, so I contacted them through Michael McDearman, and the whole group of us went over and had an unbelievable time.
Is somebody at an airport or something?
I think Mo's fishing on a charter.
Oh, my Lord.
Mo was out there catching fish while we're conversating about barbecue.
Mo, tell those people to shut up. We're in the middle of a very
catching amberjacks.
Yeah, I mean, we're in a very popular show. Very popular show here, Mo. Please tell everybody to quiet down so we can get the full answers here. Of course, Mo, talk to me when Bob gets a hold of you, and as he had mentioned, you guys are probably talking about this quite a bit, but the opportunity for you to get over there along with the Tuffy and a Byron and, the Jim Elser and those guys, what's it like for you to go over there in this Ryder Cup style event? Because obviously the American guys going over, very competitive by nature, very competitive on the circuit, so taking it over there probably ramps it up to a different level.
Well, for me, it was a great opportunity. I said again, Bob, Tuffy, these guys are my brothers, man. I love them to death, man. And to have the opportunity to go over to the Netherlands to do this is really cool. Great opportunity, great experience for me. I love going to different places, learning new techniques, seeing different people, different cultures. So I was all aboard on that. So and Bob's got a history of going over to Europe a lot, so he already knows the lay of the land over there. So I felt comfortable to be able to go over there if I need any assistance or help. I knew Bob got my back. So and Tuffy. And so, it's just a great opportunity. I mean, it's just something that I can sit there, I can put in my mental library, that I was able to cook over there and experience cooking a cook-off in the Netherlands.
Tuffy, when you're approached and you've done overseas stuff, if I'm not mistaken, you were part of that whole barbecue, the Kings of Barbecue Kuwait and things like this. You've been on television a bunch of times. How does this kind of stack up to some of the other things that you've already been a party to?
Oh, it was amazing. When Bob reached out to me about it, I've just been so blessed to be able to participate in so many things centered around barbecue. And when he called me to share this idea with me, it was like it was, you know, I was in right from the beginning. You know, like Mo was just saying, I have a really I'm very fond of a great relationship with Mo and Bob, and so when Bob, you know, shared the details with me, I was like, and you know, I was able to go. My wife said I could go. My calendar was free. It was it you know, everything lined up perfectly, and so getting over there, you know, and it was enthusiasm for barbecue, and actually Bob's probably traveled to more countries than any of us on this call when it comes to barbecue. The people that we were able to meet over there, some of them, you know, for me, in my case, you know, not as many as Bob, but we'd met so many people. I'd met people, whether it's Memphis May or the Royal or Jack, and Bob's cooked over, you know, all over Europe so much. But, you know, same thing, you know, Greg, it's like the energy and the enthusiasm and the effort that they put into the barbecue. And Bo was just saying, you know, a bit ago about, you know, just learning new things, but just you would really enjoy it, Greg. It was like just a lot of, and I always say barbecue is the friendliest food. It was, you know, just a camaraderie within, you know, just cooking meats and smoke over there. We just all felt really at home, and they just feel very, very well.
Tuffy Stone, Mo Kason, Bob Trudnak joining me here on the show. Bob, talk to me a little bit about how the competition sets up, and where does or how does the competitive juices percentage rank to just being part of this event and being good ambassadors for barbecue?
Yeah, well, I mean, so it was in the Hague, which is a big city in the Netherlands. It's close to the water. It was in a parking lot, you know, right off the city. There were some of the best teams, not only in Europe, but in the world there. And, you know, the way it was set up was there was a double contest. So there was not like day one, day two, but you were doing two turn-in boxes of every meat category at the same time, which was very unique and very intriguing and very challenging. So two chicken turn-ins, and then a half hour later, two rib, and then a half hour later, two pork, and then two brisket. And then one of the turn-ins, they had the green and the yellow contest. The boxes that were marked in green went toward the global challenge. So it was the 5 U.S. teams against the top rated, or the top 2017 European teams got, they were all judged along with the whole contest, but then the scores for those top 5 European teams, along with the or along with the U.S. teams, were scored against each other for the Global Barbecue Challenge.
And those were
and
just
I'm telling you, some of the best cooks I've ever met were at that contest.
And those were the green boxes were the ones that were judged for that portion of the competition?
Yes, yes.
So, Tuffy, let me ask you, if you're turning stuff in for the green box and you're turning stuff in for the yellow box, do you guys know up front that the green box is the one that's going to be judged for the Ryder Cup portion of that?
Yeah, so they shared that information with us, Greg, and, you know, Marcus Wine brought me the backyard Gambo model kit from Bunch of Farms, who had won they won the American Royal Invitational. They brought me that, and then Green Mountain Grill. I was just a pellet cooker, and so I just cook my normal amount of meat that I would into a competition. And I would build, you know, I would take the preferred pieces and put them in the green box. And then after that was done, go back to the meat that was still there and build the next box.
Do you dig that kind of a competition, Tuffy? I mean, I know you like competition in general, but specifically to that style, is that something you can get on?
You know, I think, well, it's kind of like, you know, I think it's like I like it when it gets shaken up a little bit. You know, I like the guinea pig. I like King of the Smokers format. I like the jack. Shows you got the furnace. I like it. So easy to fall into a routine for me sometimes, and just doing standard barbecue contest. So when we soak it up, I always like that. I think Bob and Mo, we both agree there's another layer of challenge when you can't bring your rig or your vehicle and you got to pack in suitcases and strategize what you're gonna take with you, what you're gonna borrow.
Yes.
We were in our rigs, we were out there in tents, and so for me, I like that added challenge. It's kind of fun.
Mo, let me get your thoughts on that. You're turning in two different boxes. It's not, as Bob said, a contest one day, a contest the next day. It's simultaneous turn-ins. Do you like that kind of a situation?
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, I've always been a one-man team, so I've been able to try to take what little I have and then try to make the best of it. So, I mean, it wasn't that big of a deal. You just have to make sure that you allot enough. Like, for example, you get a big enough brisket so you get all your slices off that brisket. I only took one brisket, so I got to make sure I get a big enough brisket so I can get, the slices for both boxes. Just cook enough chicken to be able to turn in for both boxes. So, yeah, I mean, it's just the same thing. You just got to cook a little bit more, use your same steps and preps. The one thing that I do want to say, which is really funny and kind of off subject a little bit, but there's a difference between Celsius and Fahrenheit, and Tuffy knows that. It's on his box, redneck. Yeah, so I'll get onto that. Get that real quick. I was cooking my brisket, had it all trimmed and everything, and cooked on these great Green Mountain grills, which I'm a big fan of, and completely had a disconnect on Celsius and Fahrenheit. Wasn't even thinking about it, Dave. So I cook a brisket at 230 degrees Fahrenheit all day long at home in my backyard on a Green Mountain grill. No problem. Turned out great. 8-10 hours. Beautiful. Well, I have a cot laying right next to that cooker, man, and I fill it up pellets, get my brisket on at 10 o'clock p.m. Then all of a sudden, about an hour later, the damn pellet cooker's asking for pellets. So I'm thinking, what the hell? I just had a full pellet. A hot pellet. What the hell is it called? Denver never even made the connection. They got up, staggered up, grabbed the pellet bag, filled it up back in, laid back on that cot, and then about an hour and a half in, that pellet cooker was smelling too good. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It smelled too good for an hour and a half time of cooking. That brisket was singing. And I was just like, okay. Then I got up, and then I looked at the numbers at 2:30. I'm thinking, wait a minute. Shit, that's 2:30. So I got my phone out. That's 465 degrees Fahrenheit.
Oh, no.
I knew. Yeah, dude. I was like, damn. I scorched the hell. Thank God the outstanding Wagyu because that saved my ass. But I knew right then and there it was the worst category I did. I said, I'll tell you what, Bob, Tuffy, you can fit my Mo case on getting a call on brisket because that ain't happening, son. My brisket got done at 4 in the morning. I put it on at 10. I had that thing in an Iski, which is a cooler. They call them Iskis over there. But over here in Australia and over there, I'm sure they call them coolers or Iskis. I had that thing at 4, man. And the turn-in wasn't until 2 o'clock the next day. So I said it's going to be what's going to be.
You're getting a lot of hold time in there.
I took that thing out, man, and you ain't going to believe it, man. I took that wrapper, man, flipped it over, man. The bottom of that brisket was hard as the floor was, boy, but I took my knife and I cut that hard part off, threw a little bit of Mo Quezon beef rub on there, man, turned it over, threw a little sauce on top of that brisket. Don't you know, cuz I got 5th place brisket.
There he is. Had that thing done in 45 minutes, and you still got a 5th place brisket. That's the way to do it.
Greg,
there's something, it was just, and like I said, Bob and something, this is great. Cook some European guys, man. The best of the best was there, man. And them guys were, they ended up winning the whole thing. But you know what, man? We put our best foot forward, man, and I look forward to going back next year.
Absolutely.
We're talking with Mo Quezon, Tuffy Stone, and Bob Trudnak. Guys, hold on just 2 minutes here while I do a little business here, and then we'll get back and talk a little bit more about the Ryder Cup barbecue competition. There's a proper name for that Bob will tell me about when we get back. And we'll get into some other stuff. Hey, let me talk to you quickly about Cook Shack. That's right, they make smoker ovens for barbecue lovers with any amount of experience, whether you barbecue in the backyard, on the competition circuit, in a 5-star dining facility. Cook Shack has the unit that will do the job, and with a full line of barbecue sauces, spices, pellets, and wood chunks, It's the perfect one-stop shop. Cook Shack strives to be a barbecue resource center by offering cooking classes, online recipes, how-to videos, 2 blogs, smoke and grilling 101s, and a video cooking classroom. Check out their website at cookshack.com or follow them on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Pinterest, and Google+. Get advice and share your passion for barbecue on their world-class barbecue forum. That's right, Cook Shack pellet-fired smokers are the choice of champions because they were designed by a champion, Ed Fast Eddie Morin. The FEC 100, PG 1000, always customer favorites. The PG 1000 can actually double as a smoker and a grill. Low and slow, hot and fast. The pellet grill line gives you the most for your money. Now, maybe you're not into pellet cookers. I get it. How about a residential electric smoker? Cook Shacks are the #1 of those in the industry. High quality means high durability and versatility. Anything you can cook in your oven, you can make in a Cook Shack. Passion and dedication drives Cook Shack's manufacturing, with quality always being the top priority. Get the best in barbecue since 1962. Call 800-423-0698. That's 800-423-0698. Or visit the website, cookshack.com. That's cookshack.com. More with Bob Trudnak, Tuffy Stone, and Mo Kason right after this. You're listening and watching the Barbecue Central Show right here on the Barbecue Central Network. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Continuing to produce incredibly mediocre content in an exceptionally professional way. You're listening and watching the Barbecue Central Show. Once again, here's your host, Greg Rampey.
This portion of the show being brought to you by cookinpellets.com, your #1 source for quality wood pellets for all your pellet-driven cookers. You visit cookinpellets.com for more info or to purchase. You can also visit amazon.com and purchase there as well. Don't forget to download the Cookin' Pellets app. Free to download, great recipes, video links, and they will also alert you when great shipping deals are available. Again, that's cookinpellets.com. And we rejoin Tuffy Stone, Mo Kason, and Bob Trudnak, Barbecue Guru, Mo Kason Barbecue, and Cool Smoke, respectively. Gents, thanks for hanging with me through the break there. Bob, as Mo mentioned, you guys didn't take the overall standing or the overall cup. I mean, is it a... you have great cooks there, certainly, but it's kind of like Tiger Woods showing up to a golf contest when he's playing it as a game. I mean, I would imagine when you got, Butt Rub and Cool Smoke and Barbecue Guru and Mo Kason, Sweet Smoke, the thought or the prevailing mindset might be that the Americans are going to come in, kick the Europeans' ass, and bring back the cup. Is it a little disappointing that you don't get the win?
Well, it's always disappointing you don't win, but we were out there to have a good time and enjoy everybody, and we put our best foot forward with what we had. So we're happy for them, but next year we're going to come back and kick their ass.
That's right. We're bringing back the title to America. Damn it.
Damn it.
Yeah.
You're damn right.
I don't want to threaten anybody, but until that cup comes back, you guys aren't coming back on the show. Little motivation there. Except for Tuffy. Tuffy can come on whenever he wants. All right, guys. So, Bob, quickly talk to me, I guess, about where the Dutch barbecue game is specifically. Tuffy had mentioned you'd been over there. I've seen, you travel quite a bit over to the other side of the pond there. What's it like?
Well, everything I see is competition barbecue, really. So in the competition world, in any country in Europe, it's really the same here as it is here in the States, right? So you take a class, you come to a barbecue contest, you help somebody out, and then you decide you want to have a team. Well, you're looking at the same flavors and the same products that you see over here in the U.S. So everyone's trying to... The judges are being taught with those flavors. The competition teams are learning with those flavors. So for the most part, it's really the same flavor profile and methods that they're doing there as we're doing here in the States.
Tuffy, from a chef's standpoint and as a competitor who likes to make his own stuff and get outside of the box, are you at all perturbed or disappointed that there's a lot of Americanizing of what's happening over there as it relates to products and flavor profiles and stuff? Would you rather see them develop something a little bit more European or specific to whatever country you're in?
Well, when it comes to like what I do on the circuit, and this is a lesson learned a long time ago, because I used to come in there and think that white truffle salt or demi-glace was good on briskets, and then I learned that it is good on briskets, but don't take it to a barbecue contest. And so, the rubs and the sauces that I've had so much success with on the circuit are, they're smoking guns high. They're blues hall. They're head country. So they're products that are made by my friends. And so when I went over to the Netherlands, they had all those products over there. I haven't spent enough time in the competition world over in Europe to understand what they're doing and not doing. Bob's got a much better handle on that. I did those 2 contests. I taught a class over there, and that's the extent of my knowledge in Europe with competition barbecue. I knew it was in the past. I think Johnny Trigg went over and cooked in Europe years ago. He might have done it twice. Once, I think he might have gone to Ireland once. I think he might have gone to Switzerland. But anyway, when he went over there, they had a lot of European chefs, and they weren't cooking like competition barbecue is here in the States. But that was a number of years ago, and it sounds like from what Bob just said, they're doing the same kind of things that we're doing over here on the circuit. And I guess just to speak a little bit to your question, so it seems like this year and last year I've been doing more where I'm just cooking food. I'll be in Charleston, wine and food in March, and I'll be in South Beach, food and wine in February, and I just did a boozerie, and I'm doing events like that, and it's kind of fun for me to be cooking barbecue that's not competition barbecue, but just to be cooking, just cooking really good food. And so I've been enjoying that process, but I don't care. I think it's right. It probably sets to me first. Good food is good food. And so whether it's competition barbecue or just good eating barbecue, I don't really care.
Tuffy Stone, Bob Trudnak, Mo Cason joining me here on the show. Mo, let me change it up here just a little bit. I know that you and Bob have been discussing or looking to put together classes, but usually when we're talking about classes, or as history has shown here on this show, it's always been related to competition cooking classes. But now we're seeing an emergence and a thirst from the backyarders to have backyard cooking classes. So are you looking to make a concerted effort to put more backyard cooking classes on?
For me, man, that's all I do. Granted, I cut my teeth on cooking competition barbecue, but honestly, most people like to win. They change from time to time, but when you get somebody like backyard people, they want to just go. They don't have no interest whatsoever generally to cook competition. They just want to be able to step their game up in the backyard for the family and friends, which that is all me. And that's what I love to do. You know what I mean? I give them some tips of what I picked up over the circuit over the years of cooking, but my main focus is the backyard guy, because those are the guys, when they're able to take those skills and be able to take that pork butt or that brisket or whatever they're cooking and elevate their game in the backyard and make great food for their family and friends, that's a home run. That's what the industry is all about. It ain't about competition. Right. As I know, I'm just telling you, afraid of what you mean. Competition is an eighth inch on a ruler. An inch is 12 inches. Competition is an eighth of an inch, and that's the fact. So there's more people out there in the backyard wanting to cook good food for their family than versus some people that just want to do competitions. You know what I mean? I am a competition guy, but I am very realistic too about what it's all about. And to me, it's more gratifying for me is when I see people in the backyard that have no clue about how to cook a brisket or have no clue how to cook a pork shoulder, and you can see their eyes light up when you're explaining the reasons why you're doing what you're doing, for your training injections or whatever, if you're going to do injections, and then have them come home and emulate that, and then email you or text you I said, I really love this brisket. My family loves the pork chops, man. I did a class here, and a lady that we had met last night at the cigar thing, she came to a barbecue class. She put that same pork butt that I did and took it to work. She went home and made it at home, and I seen her last night. She said the whole people at work just loved it. I had another dude, we did a side, which is my cheesy corn, that, just butter, cream cheese, and my pork rub, and they went home, did it, and cooked it for their family, dude, and I seen it the next day, and they're just like, dude, it was a home run. That, to me, is gratifying. You know what I'm saying? It's just totally gratifying.
Bob, do you see an increase from the backyard folks to want to learn, as Mo said, to cook a brisket or a pork shoulder or a rack of ribs? Not only better, but to a certain type of exacting standard. Are you seeing that growth and that thirst?
Absolutely. I've been doing a lot of backyard stuff myself, and Mo and I taught one in August, and we had a lot of people in our class that have never cooked barbecue in their life. And they saw that there was a class available, and they decided to, get in on it and learn before they even bought their first smoker. And I think that's amazing. I mean, we teach people how to cook good barbecue the first time or the second time out, and kind of overcome the challenges that they have in their head, and they're successful the first time. Then we got them hooked on the hobby of barbecuing, and we're growing the barbecue industry.
That's right.
With the couple minutes that we have left, I don't want to make this about Tuffy here, but Tuffy, mid-August, you're inducted into the Barbecue Hall of Fame. We spoke prior to that, obviously, talking about how you were feeling leading up to that event, but now you are officially in. What's it like? I mean, take us back a little bit and give us a little bit of insight on what that weekend actually played out for you and what it meant to you.
I'm still, I don't know how much I've moved in my feelings since when we first talked about it, Greg. I mean, I'm still so blown away and humbled, and I just this past week I spent I got this notice barbecue until 4:35 in the morning, and stayed with Tootsie and Terry and Clay till about I stayed with them about 7 hours. This lady's been cooking barbecue for 50-some years, 84 years for. I don't know. I'm really honored. I didn't have enough time to really thank all the people that made this even a possibility for me. I mean, there's so many people that have helped me along the way and just been mentors for me, and that list is so long. It was nice. My wife and my son were there for the ceremony, and my father, that was a really special moment that we got to share together. My dad's so proud, and had aunts and uncles there, and then all these mentors out there in the audience. It was very touching for me. Everybody knows I'm a pretty emotional guy, anyways. But just very humble, very honored, and I feel like I still have a lot of work yet left to do to really deserve it.
Bob, let me ask you, what does Tuffy and Cool Smoke mean to you, and what do you think he means to the barbecue industry in general?
Oh, he's the beating heart of barbecue. He's an amazing guy. He's an amazing person, first and foremost. And then to see what he's done in the amount of time he's done it is very, very inspiring to me. And I look up to him, and I look up to Mo. And, everything I do is to try to be, close to as good as these two guys for the industry and just as people. So they mean a lot to me.
Mo, let me ask you the same question. What does Tuffy mean to the industry, and what are some traits that really stick out about him to you?
I tell you what, Tuffy knows and Mo knows. there's very few people out there that I know in the barbecue game. There's a lot of great people. There are a lot of great people. But there's people that are just extremely special. For real, down to earth, great, decent human beings that got good eyesight on life. Bob Trudnack's one. Tuffy Stone, I love him and Bob both. And they know this. They know how I do feel. And what he means to the industry, people understand. That guy, as you said, like Bob, he's accomplished a lot in a short amount of time. I mean, he's been in the game for a long time, but I mean, for what he's accomplished. But you know what? He is still grounded. He is still a humble man. But he's passionate about what he does. And I'm here, we spoke here sitting on the back of the boat out by Rottnest Island in Western Australia. I tell you, man, I love Tuffy Stone to death. That's my boy, man. And then Bob Trudnack, that's my boy. Those are people that I can work with, work alongside with, work for at any time in my life. You know what I'm saying? Go for real people. And I'm not saying there's a lot of great people in the industry and nice people. But as far as genuinely ground to the earth, guys that you want to hang with, them two guys you got on the radio right now, those are it. I'm telling you straight up.
Mo Kason is in Australia joining us right here live, which is incredible, Mo. Thank you for that. Tuffy Stone is the pitmaster of Cool Smoke. Bob Trudnack, the barbecue guru, longest-running sponsor of the show. Gentlemen, really appreciate the time so much. Thanks for doing it.
Thanks, Greg. We appreciate it.
You got it. There they are. Wow.
Peace, brothers.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
All guests appear via the Traeger Grills hotline.
In many different facets. I can't believe that we got through that, and I can't believe I went on like that. Oh. Wow. Hall of Famer Tuffy Stone, if you need him. Cool Smokes Pitmaster Bob Trudnack. BBQGuru.com, longest-running sponsor of the show. Mo Kason from Mo Kason's Barbecue in Australia. It's, 1 o'clock in the afternoon there? Almost 2 o'clock, maybe? He's 15 hours ahead. Do the math. Unbelievable commitment from Mo Kason. Mo, there's this thing on a phone. It's called the mute button. Check it out. Hey, head on over to Big Papa Smokers right now, the one-stop online shop for all things barbecue. Their curated selection of only the best outdoor cooking and grilling supplies will get you on the path to better barbecue results in no time. Everything at Big Papa Smokers has been pitmaster approved by Sterling Big Papa Ball himself. He'll be on the show a little bit later this evening. From the award-winning rubs and sauces to American-made grills and smokers, Big Papa Smokers has something for every kind of cook to make them barbecue better. If you're a backyard barbecue fanatic or a competition pro, Big Papa Smokers has something for you, like their popular championship rubs and seasonings. Sweet Money, Cattle Prod, Cash Cow, just a few names of the proven winners on the competition circuit and the backyard. Big Papa's offers 13 perfectly balanced flavors that will transform ordinary meals into extraordinary. Whether you're cooking to impress judges or grilling for your family, Big Papa Smokers' award-winning rubs and seasonings just don't disappoint. Pick up a bottle today at BigPapaSmokers.com. And aside from the premium selection of rubs, Big Papa's also offers the very best pellet, charcoal, and wood cookers available today. You're looking for a versatile smoker that's easy to use? Of course you are. Check out the Mac 2-Star General Pellet Grill. Big Papa Smokers, the exclusive Mac dealer, even offers special packages. Not a fan of pellet smokers? Take a look at the old Hickory Ace BP. It's the only charcoal smoker that Big Papa trusts on his competition barbecue trailer. And if you're a backyard barbecue enthusiast like me, looking for a durable and versatile grill that will last forever, the M Grill from Texas is just what you need. They're built like tanks. Not sure of what grill you need? Hey, you can't go wrong with anything that's featured on BigPapaSmokers.com. They have something for every kind of backyard cooking budget. Check out the website and shop the full selection today. Here's what we know. It's clear that Big Papa's is the place to go for all things barbecue. Every product featured on the website, hand-selected to help you barbecue better. Boost your barbecue skills with help from Big Papa Smokers, the #1 online barbecue store. You can call them toll-free at 877-828-0727. That's 877-828-0727. Or shop their website at BigPapaSmokers.com. That's BIGPOPPA Smokers.com. All right, we're back to wrap the first hour. Your thoughts and emails welcome. Greg at thebbqcentralshow.com, 216-220-0966. We'll be back right after this.
Big name interviews, advice on cooking brisket and ribs, and the only host willing to share his honest opinion on all things important in the world of barbecue. It's the Barbecue Central Show.
All right, welcome back. Thanks again to Tuffy Stone from Cool Smoke, Bob Trudnak from Barbecue Guru, and Mo Kason from Mo Kason Barbecue for joining me in the first hour. A lot of you wondering why I have the old school cans on through email, and I continue to have trouble with the news IFB in my ear. Couldn't understand anything that anybody was saying, not strictly because of all the background noise, but I think the fidelity of the audio in that is not nearly as good as what's coming out of these, but I can't use those yet. I got probably weeks left. Anyway, John Dawson, so much for that being one of the best shows ever. John! A man can only control so much, right? You get it. I would say, if you are not following Tuffy, Mo, or Bob, you might want to do that so you can take advantage of some of their backyard cooking classes. It sounds like that's going to be a lot of interest for all three of those guys. Mo saying that while he has cut his teeth on the competition circuit, he's much more apt to do something on the barbecue or the backyard barbecue side than on the competition side, because he's all about helping people achieve the culinary goals of live fire, which I get. Same thing with Bob. Obviously, Bob sees a completely different style of that too, because he's actually selling products into the barbecue and grilling industry that make your barbecue and grilling life easier. You ever heard of the Barbecue Guru? Yeah. And then Tuffy Stone, too. Also, appreciate those guys weighing in on what Tuffy means to the industry and them specifically, because they are working together. Mo and Bob put together these great commercial vignettes. So you know they're going to do some great cooking classes. Mo, big personality, of course. But when you start to line them up, all three, I mean, some of the most accomplished pitmasters out there and successful in business and on the competition circuit. So thanks again to Mo and Tuffy and Bob for joining me this past segment. Welcoming your phone calls and emails as we get ready to roll into the second hour. That number is 216-220-0966. The email address is greg@thebbqcentralshow.com. You know, I was wondering what kind of a reaction I was going to get when I said, hey, if everybody over in the Netherlands and Europe is using everything from a product and profile standpoint that we use over here, is there a lack of individuality or a country's sense of flavor? I believe Dr. Barbecue said on this show not too long ago that he was a little disenchanted with the fact that he knows that those flavor profiles that they're making for barbecue don't play in Europe. But hey, we'll be back right after this. Stick around.
Happy to have you aboard here for the really big barbecue show.
Boing. We cook because we have to, and we grill because we want to.
Hit me!
Fine, how's it going?
You have a great show. I'm a big fan.
Boing.
So what seems to be the problem here? This man looks like he's dead and he's in the crackle.
Charbono. It's all about the Charbono, dude.
Succulent fish. What?
He ate 54 wieners.
Oh, listen, Lavernius, shut your face.
I'm shaking like a dog shit peach seeds.
We have top men working on it right now. Top men.
Hi, this is Greg Rempe, host of the Barbecue Central Radio Show. And you are listening to BCRN, all barbecue and grilling all the time. Happy to have you aboard here for the really big barbecue show.
Boing.
We cook because we have to, and we grill because we want to.
Hit me.
Fine, how you doing?
You have a great show. I'm a big fan.
Boing.
So what seems to be the problem here? This man looks like he's dead and he's in the crackle.
Charbono. It's all about the Charbono, dude.
Succulent fish. What?
He ate 54 wieners.
Oh, listen, Lavernius, shut your face.
I'm shaking like a dog shit peach seeds.
We have top men working on it right now. Top men.
And just like that, we are into the second hour. Here we go. You have found the Barbecue Central Show. This is the show that talks about all things important in the world of barbecue and grilling. If you're getting this on podcast, happy Thursday to you. You got a great next hour in store if you're listening live. Thanks for joining me. I always say this. If you've never seen the show live, find a Tuesday. Go out. Find a Tuesday where you can commit to 2 hours from 9 to 11 and watch the show happen live. I mean, you'd never know what's going to happen. And it's not nearly as fun as you get it on a Wednesday and a Thursday because it has already happened. But why not take the delve into watching something that could be a horrific train wreck? I mean, if we're being honest, that first hour, while in concept was great, there were not some great things.
Get that big stuff out of here.
That's why you tune in live, because you want to see what happens. You want to see something that might not pan out, turn into gold. You want to see something that you think is going to pan out, go down in the Hindenburg-type flames. This is why you want to get off the podcast just one time and head on over to the Facebook page or YouTube, or go over to the audio-only feed and check out the show live from 9 to 11. Remember, this show is a live show via the internet from 9 to 11 on Tuesdays. Then, while the show is going on, it is being recorded, so I have a podcast archive of the show. That's the delineating factor. I don't know if you guys know this or not, but let me go ahead and break it.
A Barbecue Central Show exclusive news update.
That's right, Greg Rempe reporting from the breaking news desk here in Cleveland, Ohio. In case you missed some of my social medias, last Friday and going every Friday from at least here on out until further notice, until I tell you otherwise, I am doing a barbecue and grilling segment, appearance, on a local radio station here just in the town east of me. The station is in Willoughby, and currently it's kicking out around a handful of counties, but I was told by the host, who's actually a employee of the station, that they're going to be turning up the transmitter and it's going to be blowing out an hour to hour and a half in any direction. And that will rival some of the bigger stations' transmissions also here in Cleveland, a fairly decent-sized market. So that is WINT on your FM dial 101.5, on your AM dial 1330. And if you're real local here, that used to be WELW, but now it's WINT. For most of you, you will want to go to wintradio.com or just search WINT Radio. It will come up. You can punch it up and get the internet feed. So right around 7:30 a.m. or 11:30 Zulu, You will find me doing some kind of live fire grilling. I'm not giving out recipes per se. I'm not telling you how to. It's not like Food Network stuff. We talk about topics, and it's very beginner right now. So, if you really know a lot of stuff, there's going to be a lot of weeks where we talk about cookers and fuels and basic stuff. But it's going to be, or it is, every Friday around 7:30 on WINT, and I have they told me 10 to 15 minutes this past Friday. That was the opening segment, the initial segment. They said 10 to 15 minutes, blah, blah, blah. I got off the phone with the host, John Cupo. I'm thinking to myself, if I don't stay at least 40 minutes, I have failed myself and the Centralite public. I roll out of there 1 hour later. That's right, because I'm freaking entertaining. Not only did we talk about barbecue franchises and what to expect, I also listed the top 3 barbecue restaurants here in Cleveland. I summarily panned another barbecue restaurant here in Cleveland, not of my own volition, but I was asked to rate one particular, and I panned them as they deservedly need to be panned because it's crap barbecue. So if you like me and you like this show and you like the energy I bring across, there's a 50-50 chance that you'll dig the segment or segments that I'm on. I'm shooting for an hour each Friday. They say 10 to 15 minutes. I'm trying to get an hour. Not only that, I'm actually going to try to install some of my guests on that Friday segment. For instance, maybe I'll tell Dave Bosca, be ready at 7:45 because I'm going to have you on for 5 or 10 minutes. We're going to also break down the Jack Daniels win on WINT. Okay? Once again, that station is WINT Radio. You can Google that, WINT Willoughby. That's right, google.com. WINT, Whiskey, India, November, Tango, WINT. John Dawson asking if WTAM is going to be up next. Who knows? That is the blowtorch. I would prefer a ESPN 850 spot myself, but that doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. But again, if you like the style of this show, I'm trying to interject my show. I'm trying to take over John Cupo's show for as long as he'll let me take it over, and then I pull back out, and I will try and re-infiltrate again next Friday. This coming week, we will probably talk about the Jack Daniels and why that competition is what it is as far as a mystery and a mystique and what it's like to win it. We're also going to be talking about different styles of cookers. We might get into some meat stuff. So check me out. It's a weekly segment on Real Radio. Remember, this is not Real Radio. This is not Real Radio.
You are not.
That's right. This is not Real Radio. This is an internet-based show from my basement. Hey, don't forget, still to come on the show tonight, Dave Bosca, Butcher Barbecue. We're going to be talking about his big Jack Daniels win this past weekend. That was the 30th annual event. So winning on a Hallmark anniversary, 30 years, great. Also, we have Sterling Ball from Big Papa Smokers going to be talking about the upcoming King of the Smokers. We will confirm that this will indeed be the last King of the Smoker. But most importantly, we will be unveiling the King of the Smoker list right here on the show. So stay tuned for that. If you're not following me socially, please do that at BBQ Central Show on Instagram. That's at BBQ Central Show. Also the same on Twitter, Facebook/BBQ Central Show. Give me a follow, give me a like. On the Facebook, you give me a like. Then there's this, and not for the faint of heart, New York City Steakhouse serves up an 8-pound sandwich with 5 different kinds of meat and a cheese fondue filling for $375. Not kidding. There are meat lovers, and then there are meat lovers with something to prove. Benjamin Steakhouse, Prime, in New York City serves both types. For the regular steak fan, they have a full menu of different cuts. But for the steak fan who is also a glutton for punishment, or as I call a ass, there's the BMT Meat Stack. The BMT Meat Stack weighs in at a whopping 8 pounds, includes 5 different types of meat. It also sets you back $375. The BMT available on the restaurant's bar menu, which stands for bacon, meat, tomato. We played the idea of the BLT, bacon, lettuce, tomato, and we say, okay, screw the lettuce, and we'll just add bacon, meat, and tomato. Chef Jesus Nunez told Business Insider earlier this week, the story coming from dailymail.co.uk. The sandwich is way too big to get everything in one bite, but it does include every cut of meat that the steakhouse offers. First, it starts with a piece of rosemary focaccia bread, then a pound of seasoned burger meat, a pound of thick-cut bacon, and a layer of caramelized onions. That's topped with a pound of filet mignon, 2 pounds of ribeye, a heaping sun-dried heirloom tomato, and 2 pounds of New York strip. Then the whole thing smothered in melted cognac Madeira cheese fondue, finished off with another piece of rosemary focaccia bread. Don't eat that. What? It's 8 pounds. Do I have to do the math for you, Centralites? 8 pounds? If you eat it, you're eating and adding 8 pounds in one sitting. Unbelievable. Credit John Dawson for that lead. Dave Bosco coming up out of the break. Let me talk to you quickly about Traeger grills. Behind every great meal is a great grill, but not just any grill, a Traeger grill. And Timberline's Traeger is Timberline is Traeger's most advanced grill yet. It allows you to grill, smoke, bake, roast, braise, and barbecue like a pro, no matter what your level. Thanks to the incredible wood-fired taste. Seriously, you don't know flavor till you're cooking with it. Traeger grills use all-natural hardwood pellets as fuel, so you're literally cooking with flavor. From low and slow smoked ribs to a seared steak, even a baked apple pie, Traegers can handle it all, and the Traeger Timberline makes it even easier thanks to the Wi-Fi capability. You can check on your cooks, kick up the temperature, and set custom cook cycles anytime, anywhere, all right from the phone on the Traeger Grill app. Find a local Traeger dealer and check them out, or go online, TraegerGrills.com. Want to beef up that barbecue game of yours? Hell yeah! Traeger Shop classes are going coast to coast, bringing you barbecue knowledge and amazing wood-fired food everywhere they go. They're taught by professional pitmasters, the likes of a Doug Scheiding, a Danielle Bennett, a Chad Ward, a Matt Pittman. The list goes on. You'll take home all the skills you need to reach barbecue glory. Find a shop class near you. Sign up today, TraegerGrills.com/shopclass. That's TraegerGrills.com/shopclass. Telling you I use the 850 an inordinate amount, and certainly pellet cookers in general are pretty easy to work, but efficiency, capacity, and the tech interaction really second to none. If you're wavering between Pro and Timberline series, if you have the funds and you're really into it, I suggest biting the bullet and going Timberline. That's just me. But again, check them out online, TraegerGrills.com. That's TraegerGrills.com. We are back with the 30th annual Jack Daniel's World Barbecue Cook-Off Champion, Dave Bosco from Butcher Barbecue next. Stick around. We'll be right back.
The only show giving you a monthly visit from a doctor of barbecue. A man actually named Meathead. The author of a barbecue Bible. Bloggers, reviewers, competitors, and manufacturers by the dozens. It's the Barbecue Central Show. Once again, here's your host, Greg Rempe.
Hey, event organizers, check this out. 2019 Smoking with Smithfield Grant Program. You have an opportunity to deepen the prize pool at your barbecue competition. by an extra $3,000. Smithfield has invested almost $300,000 to date into the barbecue competition prize pools across the country. Interested? Yeah, you are. Applications only be accepted through tomorrow. Pay attention. Don't delay. Head on over to smokinwithsmithfield.com. That's smokinwithsmithfield.com. Again, you only have one more day. October 31st, end of day, smokinwithsmithfield.com to apply at the grant program. All right, mid-August, we caught up with my next guest to recap his Reserve Grand Championship take at the American Royal Open contest. Fast forward 2 months, and we are now joined by the pitmaster of the team, Butcher Barbecue, who can now add 2018 Jack Daniels World Champion to the list of contests won. Let's go ahead and race to the Traeger Grills hotline and welcome back friend of the show and reigning Jack Daniels champ, Dave Bosca. That's got to sound good, Dave, right?
Man, it sounds crazy to say, but yeah, I guess you can say it.
How crazy did we think Reserve Grand Champ at the Open sounded, and how can you compare and contrast RGC at the Open and GC at the Jack?
Oh, I think the Jack is far important to me, and I think to cooks that go to it understand how hard it is to get into it first, and then to have a good cook, and then just that in itself, the hollow, the camaraderie that's down there, man. When someone's winning, there's not a team in there that's not rooting for you, even though you're competing against them. It's just unreal.
Dave, do you think that for the teams that haven't been to the Jack, or maybe they haven't been very competitive, we'll talk about how you actually can get in there because there's a couple different ways. But if they haven't been, they are more partial to an American Royal Invitational or an Open, and then maybe once they get into the Jack and they start to finish well, they kind of take more of your mindset where they feel that the Jack, through a number of different reasons, is the more prestigious or the more important one for them.
It's definitely, in my eyes, more prestigious. Is it more important? They're both very important, and they both have their place in this barbecue cooking world. But prestigious, no doubt about it. In my mind, it's the Jack.
All right, so let's talk about the Jack and how you qualify for the folks that aren't familiar. Maybe they're just tuning in for the first time and don't really know about competition barbecue. We have, I guess, what you would call majors during the course of the year. You have the Memphis in May, you have the American Royal, both the Open and the Invitational side. The Jack Daniels used to be the Sam's Club, but that's no more. How do you qualify for the Jack Daniels?
You can qualify by winning a grand champion in a specific state, and then your name goes into a draw, provided the grand champion meets certain criteria. That can be long and lengthy, so we'll leave that to the people that want to go read about it.
Sure.
Then your name goes into, for lack of better words, the pot. Your name goes on a bung, which is the cork that keeps the kegs sealed. And then once a year, they pull your name out of the bung from that state, and out of all the teams that won a grand, only one gets to go. Another possible way is win 7 grand champions within that calendar year that they specifically or that they specify, and you get to go. Another possible way is just spell your name, Iowa Smoky D's, and you get to go.
It's that easy?
Oh, man, he goes every year and he rocks. I mean, he's a machine.
I believe you can also qualify, like some states, it's the only qualifier. So if you go and you win it, then you're automatically in. You don't have to go through the drawing process or something like that?
That's correct, yes.
All right, so, not a number of different ways to get in, but it does exclude. So, one of the ongoing back and forth of the American Royal or the Jack is, the American Royal, if you win, everybody is given an opportunity to show up wherever it's going to be in Kansas, and it has varied over the last number of years, to show up and go against each other. The Jack, you could always argue, it's always leaving perhaps some of the best cooks out that year. For instance, Tuffy Stone wasn't at the Jack this year. There was a number of other cooks that you would think are very elite, but they didn't get their name pulled, or they didn't win 7, or they didn't win a single qualifier, and so they're off to the side. And people want to make the argument that it's not showcasing the best of the best.
Well, I understand both sides, but as far as showcasing the best of the best, you got to say who's hot, who's not. Love Tuffy to death. You pulled his name out of the hat, so let's talk that.
Sure.
The man's been so busy, he just hasn't had a chance to stop and do competition cooking. Can he pick it up and do a competition cook? Absolutely, and has as good a chance to win as anybody. And can he? Absolutely. He can go cook tomorrow and probably win the Jack. There's no doubt. He's
Sure.
been winning this Jack man out there.
No doubt.
But the average man, anybody like me? No, there's probably not. We can't just go win it every time. So it takes a year's worth of testing and tuning and fine tuning and all that just to put it together for that one Super Bowl cook-off.
Dave Bosca joining me here on the show, Butcher Barbecue. Dave, I mean, you're not winning isn't new to you. I mean, you have won dozens and dozens of grand championships and reserves. You've finished, very high in Team of the Year point standings. I mean, doing well and being a consistent cook is kind of your hallmark and your calling card. But when you take down a grand champion, the likes of the Jack Daniels, do you think to yourself, even though I've been this good for this long, you didn't know if you were going to be able to bring this title back to Oklahoma, or in the back of your mind, you're thinking, hey, as long as everything lines up, why not Butcher Barbecue?
No, I never think that we have an upper hand or anything like that. Never at all. My goal going into any cook-off, this one, the Royal, any of them, is I just want to go in and cook my food, and I'm extremely honest with myself when it's done. I'm a realist. If I don't hit the marks that I wanted the meat to hit, I can't expect the judges to give me that score. And I've learned a few things about the meat that you have to take. There's as good a meat as we've always taken to contest. I have figured out that there's another level out there, and that's what it's taken to win today. I think it starts with the meat. It takes the consistency. It takes the flavors, and then it boils down to getting it cooked right. And I just never think that we've got an upper hand. And as I've said to a lot of people is, you ride the wave. Right now we're on the wave, but you have to remember all waves hit a shore at some point. So it's just how you ride that wave into the shores.
One of the unique things that I saw as the results started flowing in, and especially the final results, if we roll back to mid-August, Darren Worth from Iowa Smoky D's wins grand champion at the open portion. You win reserve, and you look at this past weekend, you guys reverse roles. You win, and Darren comes in reserve grand. I mean, it was kind of a unique finish if you look at it from winning and coming in second in majors.
Yeah, we were standing there at the top after everything was called, and Darren told me a little something, and he told me what he did on his pork, and it bit him. With essence, I changed my brisket at the Royal, and I felt like it bit me at the Royal. So, it kind of goes both ways there. And I'll tell you a little funny story. We were standing up there talking, and Darren's already been there. He's been there several times,
Yep.
and I hadn't. And I said, now I know what it feels like to be like you. And he says, you know what? He says, you get to go talk to the media. He says, I'm going to go get drunk.
Yeah, I mean, that's like a whole different thing that you now get to be used to, is having people want your time, and they want a soundbite, they want an interview, because it is a big deal.
I guess it is. We're just simple-minded, simple people from Oklahoma cooking a little barbecue.
Dave, who's on the team? Because I know you're the face, but are you cooking with teammates regularly?
My brother comes to probably 85% of them. Yeah.
And that's Martin, right?
Martin, yes.
So what's it like cooking alongside your brother, and you get into an event like this? I'm assuming he was there with you for the American Royal at the Reserve as well. Taking down these super competitions, somebody that you've obviously grown up with, he's obviously got some type of a passion for cooking as well. Does it make it even more special to have your brother alongside of you? And I know, from time to time, Levi probably gets out there with you, but he's busy with the butcher stand here at this point. But, going out with your family and winning these big things, does it make it that much more special?
Oh, absolutely it does. His passion is drag racing, and my knowledge of cars is wiping the dust off the outside.
I heard that.
So I'm a wrench getter in his garage. I don't know much more than that. Comes to barbecue, he loves helping out and cooking and doing all that, and he's a good cook himself. But when it comes out there, this weekend it was great, and it couldn't have been a better weekend for me. I had invited my two son-in-laws, and this is the first road trip they took with us, and we got to go cook, and then we had a good cook. We had a great time, and then we won. I mean, what's the chances of them getting to go? And we had a real good friend of ours from Prague, Oklahoma, and him and his wife went. So, man, we just had a good group in our camp all weekend. So, man, it was wonderful, just on the ride even. Yeah.
You got to look like a barbecue stud. You show up, it's a big, huge contest over the course of the year, one everybody wants to take down. You're showing up with all these people that know you're a good cook, and then, oh, by the way, we're going to win the grand championship here at the Jack this weekend.
Well, I know about a big stud. I look like a big something. I mean, but I don't know about that.
Let's talk about pellet cookers for a second, Dave. I mean, I don't know if there has been a more consistent, firm believer in pellet cookers. You got a pair, assuming that the trailer's still kind of set up the same way when I saw it in Miami a number of years back. You got a pair of
no change.
Pair of FEC 100s in there. I know at one point you had a Yoder pellet cooker as well. I think there was a definitive point in time a number of years ago where things were trending to where everybody at least had one or was cooking on them or felt like you needed to have a pellet cooker in order to win. And then somewhere along the line that trended back towards offset, specifically Jambo pits when we're talking about barbecue competitions. And then lo and behold, we're starting to see pellet cookers, I don't want to say come back, but at least be brought back up to the forefront again as a premier cooking vessel to win units, and also seeing a lot of popularity in the backyard. Do you think that your winning is helping bring back a popularity of sorts or a resurgence of sorts of pellet cookers in the competition world, or has it always been there?
Oh, I think it'd be kind of crazy to think my winnings is doing it, but I feel that.
But you're using pellet cookers, Dave, and you're winning. I can't sit here and name 10 other people that are using them.
There again, I'm a realist. There's a lot of folks out there winning on them. So I'm just fortunate to be the one this week. Being all serious, there's a lot of great cooks out there cooking on them. The pellet cookers, I think what the deal is with the pellet cooker is they think, a lot of folks think they're just so consistent and all that. Well, you have to learn to be able to get your flavor out of a pellet cooker. You have to be a little bit different cook. You have to have a different mindset of how you got to use them to cook. Some pellet cookers cook so consistent that they don't put the grill / wood flavor to them. So you have to know how to get it out of it to still make it a barbecue product. So that's the real trick. I still cook. The very first FEC I took to a cook-off is still in my trailer. I still cook on that one. I've added to it. I cook on a PG 500 grill. All three pellet driven, but I still cook on the very first one I ever started with. I still got it. Still cook on it.
Dave, I want to completely switch gears here for a second. The last time, or I think it was a couple weeks ago, you were on Steve Ray's show, the backyard barbecue and beer swilling show, or whatever it's called. And you talked about cooking a brisket and mentioned something that completely blew my mind. You've never talked about it here on the show, which means you like Steve better than me, but that's a different story for a different day. You had mentioned that separate the brisket, and then the thing that really took me aback was wrapping brisket at 150 instead of the 165 to 170 because you're retaining more moisture at that temperature because it's not going through the stall and doing that whole evaporative moisture type thing.
Yeah, well, that's just understanding the meat itself. What people call stall usually is around the 170 mark. But water actually starts dissipating from the meat between 148, 49 up to about 55, according to the actual meat itself. But that's about the time frame when you start losing moisture into your cooker unit out of your meat. So if you wrap it at that point, you're going to start steaming it just a little quicker, and it's going to get through the stall. If you wait till 170 or so to wrap your brisket, there's probably an hour's worth of moisture that you've lost. So if you wrap it quicker, you're going to have a lot more moisture piece of meat. And then what you do is whenever it's cooking, the tenderization goes from about 175 to about 195. And people go, well, it's not tender. If you cook it fast, we're having to go up to well above 200, 205. Some folks will go into 210.
Sure.
But it's according to how fast they're going through that tendering moment. Well, a lot of folks aren't remembering or thinking about is they change the process in it. Like, let's say you cook to 205 and it gets to 210 and they say, oh, I got to open it up and vent it and cool it off real quick. But it goes all the way down to 195. And then, 2 hours later when you slice it, it's like, oh, it seized up on me. It's because it must have overcooked. Well, what it is the meat is still tenderizing from 205 to 200 to 195. So it's actually still breaking down the collagens on the downswing as well as the upswing. So it changes it. It's still tenderizing it. And it's that way with the moisture even. If you wait till 170 to 175 to wrap, you have lost a lot of moisture in there. And the best way I've always had to describe it to folks is water in a mussel is, let's just call it a live virus, and it has to stay alive or it dissipates. So if you take a full mussel, where's the coolest spot for that moisture to stay alive?
In the center.
In the center of that meat.
Right.
That's right. So as you go to cooking it and the outside starts warming up and it starts warming all the way through the center of that meat, the outside part starts dissipating, so it's drying it out. And if you wait till the center of that meat is 175, it's already dried out. So you're way too late. And it reverses back to when you're slicing. A lot of chefs will tell you, you got to let that meat rest before you slice it or you lose all those juices.
Right.
Well, what it's actually doing, the rest is a true statement, but you got to let the inside and the outside of that mussel fiber become the same temperature, or when you cut into that meat, where's the coolest spot? It's on that surface. So all your moisture runs to that open face and comes out onto your cutting board. And you're thinking, oh my God, I got a juicy piece of meat. Well, 5 minutes after you slice it, if you look back at it, it's dry looking.
Right.
Why? It ran out after it was sliced. So you take a brisket that's a quarter-inch thick, and you slice it, and then turn around and slice on the next slice. You got two open faces that's only a quarter-inch apart. Those juices have ran straight out of that little old slice because that's now the coolest spot. But if you cooled that brisket off to, say, 150, 160, then sliced it, the surface and the middle section is going to be closer to the same temperature, so it will help retain the moisture in the slice after being sliced.
Dave Bosca is putting on a brisket school unannounced, and certainly no one appreciates that more than me. He is your 2018 Jack Daniels champion and will reign as such here over the next 12 months. Dave, it's been a great season. The reserve at the Open was great, and so was the conversation after that, and then taking down GC this past weekend to be a Jack Daniels champ. I think Steve said it best that, there's some of us that kind of know you and have known you for years, and there's this kind of either perceived or real personal connection to somebody that's won a huge championship, and that's you, because great guy, great business guy, and a great barbecue guy. So, Dave, appreciate you taking the time once again to share it with us, and we'll catch you again soon.
Greg, thanks a lot, man. I appreciate you having us on, and I just want to tell everybody thanks so much for all the accolades and all the handshaking, and it really means a lot to all of us. We really appreciate it.
There he is, Dave Bosca, Butcher Barbecue. ButcherBBQ.com.
All guests
That's right.
appear via the Traeger Grills hotline.
Thank God.
Yeah, man.
Dave breaking it down unannounced for me with the brisket stuff. Wow. There's going to be a lot of people asking when that portion is coming up in the replay. That'll be Thursday, hour number 2. Always on Thursday in podcast. That's why you need to go live, baby. Right, Blowfish? Right, Hootie? I'm right. That's why you do this show live, because you get nuggets like that. Sterling Ball coming up out of the break. I'm going to talk to you quickly about Green Mountain Grills. Some of the best pellet cookers out there on the market today. 3 different sizes to choose from. Tuffy Stone was just talking about cooking on a Green Mountain Grill when he was over in Holland, believe it or not. They got the Jim Bowie. That's the biggest one. They have the Daniel Boone. That's middle size. They have the Davy Crockett. So look, if you're in the middle of tailgating season or you really like to camp and you want to bring something with you that has that pellet-fired taste, you don't want to lug it around in your camper or trail it or whatever, like with some of the bigger Green Mountain options, then the Davy Crockett is what you want. Plus, if you don't have access to a traditional power outlet, right, you can just use your 12-volt outlet right in your car, truck, van, or SUV. It's perfect. Now, if you want something a little bit bigger, as I had mentioned, the Jim Bowie, the Daniel Boone, great cookers. You can bake, you can smoke, you can roast, you can braise. I love to do chicken wings on there. It's absolutely spectacular. However, if you want to do pizza, spend the $130, right, and get the pizza insert. Now you got pizza party. You can have barbecue party on Friday, pizza party on Saturday. If you want to do both on Sunday, you can do that. I highly recommend getting more than one Green Mountain Grill. Then you can have your Daniel Boone set up as maybe a standalone pizza, and then your Jim Bowie as your dedicated low and slow. Come on. Who are you kidding? GreenMountainGrills.com. That's GreenMountainGrills.com. Jason Baker and the gang out there, appreciate their support. And we will be back with Sterling Ball right after this.
Continuing to produce incredibly mediocre content in an exceptionally professional way. You're listening and watching the Barbecue Central Show. Once again, here's your host, Greg Rempe.
All right, welcome back. This portion of the show is being brought to you by Fireboard. Monitor up to 6, that's right, count them, 6 different temperatures simultaneously. You can connect to Wi-Fi for cloud-based monitoring or connect via Bluetooth. If you have Google Alexa, you're in luck because Fireboard is fully integrated with both. Find out more by visiting fireboard.com or call 816-945-2232. It's good folks over at Fireboard. All right, my last guest tonight appears on the show what I would call semi-frequently. He makes some of the best rubs in the business, both for the competition of the Backyard Cook, sells sauces, cookers as well. Oh, by the way, happens to be one of the most consistent and successful pitmasters on the competition circuit here over the last handful of years. This year's 3 GCs to the credit, 4 RGCs. That puts him 12th overall, Team of the Year points race in KCBS. Tonight, however, we will be revealing the final King of the Smoker roster. And we race to the hotline and welcome back friend of the show, Sterling Ball. Sterling, how are you, buddy?
No, I mean, I thought I was in the Show Hall of Fame.
You are? Jeez,
Oh,
I
okay.
mean,
I didn't hear that.
Sterling, whose show
You know
is
what,
this?
though?
Remember,
it's
this is me.
really
I
nice.
have to walk it out. I have to walk it out properly.
I like how you walk. A Tennessee Walker. I like Tuffy opening up for me tonight.
Yeah, did you think that he gave you the proper warm-up? Would you go over to Holland or wherever they were at to do barbecue stuff?
Sure, I'd love to. I wish I had time, you know.
I mean, what
But
else
Greg,
are you?
this
What
is-
else are you
this is
doing?
Really, well, I did a couple of things, but Greg, you know, this is so. I'm so happy. This is the last time I have to select teams for the King of the Smokers.
All right, so let's do
Because
this.
next year.
Let's do this. Hold
Well,
on.
no, yeah.
Barbecue Central Show exclusive news update.
And this is Greg Rempe reporting from the news desk here in Cleveland, Ohio. So let's get it out right here. Sterling, is this the last year for King of the Smoker?
Yeah, we actually branded it Final. This is it.
Wow.
And what it's going to be is that Smithfield's going to take the date and have the Smithfield National Championship, and it's the Unified National Championship. So it's going to be in New Orleans, and you cook your way onto it. So it's not an invitational in that way, like the King of the Smokers. And you know, the King of the Smokers has been really fun, really expensive. We've raised millions for charity, which I think is awesome. Just the elite team in Cooking for Kids programs were over $240,000 to regional children's charities around the country, and it's still got nothing but abuse. But so I'm happy to not do it anymore, to be honest with you. But I'm really happy at who I'm going to invite this year. And, you know, people have their own idea of the invite list, and that's fine. It's just I kind of have my own. And anyway, I always like to celebrate legends. And we've got Chris Lilly, who's Hall of Famer and obvious legend. And he won. He's a past champion. He won the first King of the Smoker.
That's right.
Just a fantastic ambassador for the sport, as all these are. If anything you can do is look at guys like Chris, Duffy, Johnny, and Myron, and look how they engage with the fans, and look how they promote their sport. So the next would be Tuffy Stone, Hall of Famer also.
Yep.
Johnny Trigg. I love Johnny Trigg. Johnny Trigg took Big Papa Smokers under his wing or under his holster. And I love Johnny, and Johnny still draws the biggest crowd. It's fun to watch. Myron Nixon, who, when we were on Pit Masters, when we just started, and he really was pretty harsh on us, I like to invite him so I can remind him that he called us tailgaters back then. So Myron's coming, and we always love Myron. What I wanted to do, since this is the last one, is I wanted to invite the past champions. And the irony of the past champions is that most of them are pretty much out of barbecue now.
Yeah.
Which is really kind of sad. But we have, you know, Tippy is coming. Ryan at Big T's is coming.
Wow.
Scott Key, Little Pigtown. Lucky. Blaine Hunter, past champion last year. So they all get an auto invite. As Blaine's is an auto invite from winning last year. And I wanted to bring these people back. I also think that surge of barbecue in that era with the Iowa boys was really healthy, fun, not cliquish, and I really appreciate what they did for our brand. And I'm really looking forward to getting to hang around with them at a contest.
Do you feel confident that, and I don't know it, so I'm asking you, but do you feel confident like a Tippy's or a Big T's is going to be able to roll in and be competitive?
Absolutely.
All right.
And, you know, I think these guys are great cooks. And you want to know something? That the most important thing is that's the least thing. I'm sure nobody wants to embarrass themselves. When you see the King of the Smokers and they get the score sheet, everybody looks at the bottom first.
Right.
They just don't want to come in last.
Right.
But I think the beauty of the Tippies and the Ryans and Scott Keys and those guys is that it was about fun first and camaraderie and trophies second, and they won their share of them, all of them. So I think refreshing to witness their antics, and I think they'll absolutely. I don't think anybody that's cooking the contest thinks that they're pushovers.
All right.
Then we have this guy named Darren Worth. I mean, Darren and Sherry, they're coming here to beat us up in Indio this weekend. So is Matthew and from Boomerang and Brad and getting basted. But we got a doubleheader out here. But you got to just look at what Darren continues to do. And Sherry's such a big part of it. But, I mean, he made a bold move, which I'll let him talk about, but in pork. But, I mean, he almost did it again. Those majors, you know, you go there and you look at the judging and you say, boy, it's a crapshoot. And it isn't for Darren. And it isn't for Tuffy, so I don't really think it is. But so Darren's coming. The Smithfield Classic, and the winner of the Smithfield Classic in Richmond, Virginia, got an auto invite, and it just so happened to be Fred Robles.
Right.
And Fred has cooked IBCA and KCBS, and Fred's one of the Cooking for Kids, and he's leading that points chase, too.
He was in World Food Championships final table last year, too.
Yeah. Absolutely. Fred is just a great guy and a great cook. I get one pick for me. Actually, I picked the past in, but I do get every year one pick, and it's a wild card pick. And since it's the last, I want Scott Nelson and Pigskin. It wasn't cooking much either, but I think Scott Nelson, you know, crawled out of bed and was RGC at the Jack.
He's my favorite. He's one of my favorites, no doubt.
Well, and he was at a contest in Wildomar in California 8 years ago, and it was our first GC, and he RGC'd. And he said, "What are you doing with that double secret steak?" I said, "Well, it's my prototype steak wrap." He goes, "I love it. Can I have some?" So we gave him the half a bottle. And he went back to Iowa and started killing and would tell everybody it's Big Papa Smoker. So Scott really has a lot to do with spreading our flavors and getting us integrated in that Iowa way.
Yep.
So it's a nice way. And also, watch, he'll do very well.
Oh, yeah.
Now we get into the modern section. We got Boomerang, who's, kind of out of nowhere in Texas, tearing it up in KCBS. Matthew and Sarah are great people. They're coming. You have Smoke Me Silly, who's number 3 in the country, and they're always in it and win tons of contests every year. We have the tallest man in barbecue, Jim Shears, Shake and Bake, and I like it when he dances down the aisle.
Do
when
you?
He gets a call. Oh yeah, he's got moves.
Yeah, can't miss him.
Yeah. So then we have. You want to guess who's next? Think Shake and Bake.
Well, you already said getting basted. So
no,
Clark,
I didn't say that
Clark,
yet. I didn't say that yet.
You didn't?
No, it's getting basted.
Okay, I'm right. Yep.
Getting basted's coming. Then the pride of that Virginia area, Wolf's Revenge.
Oh, okay.
Okay. A first-time invitee, Bill at Smoking Hogs, having a great year, great batting average. You know, won the Jack. Writes nice cookbooks and is a really nice man. I'm really hope he accepts the invitation. The wild card that everyone will be talking about on the chat rooms is bunch of swines from England.
Oh, they have RSVP'd?
Yes.
Wow, that's huge.
Well, if barbecues wants to be international, they came here and won the Royal.
Yeah.
And their batting average over there is spectacular, and there's a tendency to want to discount it because it's over there, but I think they're 13th or 19th GC and RGC.
Yeah.
And they showed they can cook there. But let me tell you something else. One of the biggest parts about this is what kind of person you are out there. Okay? And Tuffy in Netherlands, Edward brought his pit from England to the Netherlands for Tuffy to cook on. And that's just one of the many things they do. They're just really nice people, and I'm really happy to give them a chance to participate. Like I said, it's a controversial pick.
Sterling,
no more.
When Ed won the American Royal Invitational, that Tuesday he came on my show, did my show live at 2 a.m. his time because he was a fan of the show, but he knew that it was a good spot for him to come in and recount. I told him I'd pre-record, no big deal. He's like, no. I'm a big fan of the show. I'm coming on live, and he absolutely killed it. So, I mean, he is one of the good guys for sure.
Yeah, and I think that this is, the chemistry of the event is so important. And as we do so, and you can't really talk about chemistry without talking about the big ginger.
Travis Clark.
Yes. I kept him back. Said, Travis, you are right on the bubble. And the fact that, he's a 2-time Team of the Year, the fact that he's a great cook, and the fact that he's the biggest ginger in barbecue, that did it. So Travis is coming, and we love having him. Another one, Cooking for Kids team, 1-2 Barbecue. Just, a really solid cook. When they show up, they're going to be a factor. Yep. Steve's getting invited, but really his daughters are. They're just sweet kids, and I love the whole family situation that he brings. But I also think he absolutely could win this thing easily.
No doubt.
We're starting to worry about this next one, whether one of the teammates would still be in jail. But Ted got out, and I've assured him that Indian Wells, California is a wet community. So Shiggin and Grinnin is coming, and they don't need to bring bail money or anything. So, and we love Shiggin. There's not a party unless Shiggin and Grinnin.
They're great guys. I love those guys.
Yeah. Okay, now Matthias Serrata from Texas, the IBCA Team of the Year. Another really good guy. I think this might, if he's listening, he's signing out for the first time, but we're happy to invite him. And then Gray Street, who cooks very well in their area and is having a monster year. I think they're number 5 in the country. So Gray Street's coming. Now that's 24, okay?
Yep.
But last year I had 25 too, because I just couldn't. I mean, how do you not have Butcher? Now, I've invited Butcher in the past, and we have a little controversy as to whether he declined or not. But I hope he doesn't decline.
He's put in a fantastic position because I'm sure he wants to take part in King of the Smoker. But as I had just got done talking with him last segment before he came on, Sterling, I mean, he's obviously a pellet devotee, which goes patently against the rules of King of the Smoker.
Absolutely. But I think he can cook on anything. And he won't be able to use, you can't use electronics. So I hope David accepts the invitation. I love him and his brother, and David's always a kind. I'll tell you a little thing about David. When we were first starting, the banquets in San Diego. Now, I'm competing with him on rubs and stuff, but I'm also a dealer. Now, at the time, we had a guy who no longer cooks on our team. That won't say his name, but he just struggled at brisket, something fierce. And so I called David. I said, David, would you mind? And this is before people really share this. I said, David, would you mind helping Jody and what's his name out? And he says, well, here's what I'll do. I got to speak at the banquet, but show up at 10:30 in San Diego. Come to our room, and I'll trim and prep a brisket for you guys and show you and tell you everything I can short of cooking it. And I've always been impressed if that's the kind of guy David Bosk is.
Do you have a gut feeling on what do you think he's going to come or not? 50-50 or less than that?
Well, I'm going to tell him he's nothing if he doesn't come, so he'll come. I think he'll come. We'll find out. I mean, I hope he does. I hope everybody comes. I mean, we spend a lot of time, and by the way, there are a lot of top pitmasters. Oh yeah, one thing, I have somebody looking out for me. I missed Lucky Q.
No, you didn't. You said that.
And Lucky. Oh, I did. Okay.
Yep.
So my little texter said I didn't. Okay.
Yeah, past
so Lucky's, And by the way, the hotel's cleared Kate to cook pumpkin bars.
Really? Look out, everybody.
Yeah.
Pumpkin bars are coming.
That's newsflash. So, I think that's really fun. I mean, I think it's going to be a really good chance. And once again, this event raises a lot of money for pediatric kidney disease, and it's also our showpiece event to give out the money for the Cooking for Kids program. And I think it's a great chance for us to show the Southern California people the best in barbecue. And as you know, after their last turn-in, there's half-hour classes until it gets dark. So usually about 9 classes, and nobody's ever said no to giving a class. Although I won't mention Darren's name, but he asked if he could just walk this year. I remember when Darren won his first brisket team of the year, I had him do the brisket class, and he said, "I'm going to tell everything." And I have pictures. Every single guy, Donnie Bray, Travis, everybody was standing like it was. They're classic pictures.
They were just as much the crowd as the crowd was.
Well, I think you'll see that in all of the classes. I mean, because we let them choose their subject, and we go. I got to tell you, one of the things I want to talk about though too is that this is the Smithfield King of the Smoker, and Smithfield's kept it going for the last 3 years with us, and everybody knows how proud I am to be with Smithfield.
Yeah.
But I want to talk about the grant because the grant's deadline is tomorrow.
Yep.
And the Smithfield grant has put $300,000 into the prize pool of American Barbecue Contest in the last 2 years. And nobody's come close to that. No sanctioning body, no company. It's $300,000, and they don't care if you don't cook their product. They prefer if you cook the product, but they're happy to write you a check. And what's really good about it is that they've used this grant as a way to help kind of realign contests to their priority right now. And so it's obviously contests with good community support, a good payout that pays deep in every category and overall, great charity. They're branding the kids' queue and dessert. And they're going to be giving out the grants again. And the contest that are listening to this, if you applied before and didn't get it, don't let that stop you.
Right.
This is free money.
Right.
This is free money, and it's money that that goes straight into barbecuers' pockets, which, as the cost of barbecue goes up. I mean, and I'll tell you a little interesting facts about barbecue because we're getting ready for people to announce who's running for the board.
Right.
And I sit and I read Facebook, and it's like a venom fest. But I read Facebook, and everyone's always stepping over dollars to pick up pennies with barbecue, and they're worrying about whether it's kale or how much the butt weighs or how many teams for team of the year. And the real deal is we got to figure out a way of making barbecue sustainable. We've got to figure out ways of increasing the payout, lowering the cost.
Yep.
And right now, barbecue's in a situation now where we are, as of October 2nd, we're pretty much even with where we were in 2012 in number of contests. We have 1,000 fewer entries than we did in 2012, and about 3,000 fewer entries than we did from our high year in 14 and 15. Okay? And the real alarming thing is that 21.9 of the contests have 24 or fewer teams.
Wow.
And there's one thing I can tell you as a promoter, a 24-team contest is not sustainable or viable unless you want a very low payout. In 2012, it was 13% of the contests. So we have 16% of the contests are over 50. Okay, it's actually 16.4. So there's more contests now under 24 than there are over 50. And I think we've really got to look at this. I think that we have to look at how many contests we're sanctioning. We got to look at how many judges we're training in. And we got to understand that the numbers are down. They're going the wrong way. I don't see anything proactive to address it. And the real bad number to me is that growing number of contests that aren't even a qualifier. Because I think that when you want to look at what contests are at risk in the future, those absolutely are.
Absolutely.
And right now, I know the board at KCBS is busy talking about changing the team of the year to strengthen the 16.4, and I really think they need to be looking at how to get that 24 and under up.
Sterling, anything else before I let you go tonight? And I appreciate you revealing the last King of the Smoker list here on this show.
No, I just think it's been a lot of fun. I would say something to the people that were so brutal, and I don't mean to focus on the negative, but, you know, we lost Sam's Club because of various reasons, but one of the big reasons was the how it was criticized so often. And, you know, you're not going to have somebody put $100,000 in a contest every year like I have for now. It'll be the 7th year. And as long as they have, I mean, like Darren says, I didn't take away anybody's birthday. I didn't take away a national holiday. I didn't take a month of summer. I added a contest.
Yeah.
And I had a contest that paid well. And I've had a great time doing it, but I'm really happy to hand the baton to Smithfield.
What's the date?
It's this year?
Yes.
The 29th of November.
November 29th will be the last, as we know it, King of the Smoke.
Yeah, it's so like December 1st, that weekend, always the first weekend, and it's at the Miramonte in Indian Wells. You can go online, King of the Smokers, and get some tickets. They're cheap and fun. There's a room block at the Miramonte. So that's what we got going. And Greg, you've been very supportive of this over the years, and I really appreciate it.
Absolutely, my pleasure. It's Sterling Ball, pitmaster of Big Papa Smokers, getting ready to throw down the last King of the Smoker, the final, as he had talked about here at the top of the segment. Sterling, always appreciate the time, my friend. Thanks so much.
Yeah, take the rest of the day off.
Thank you. I will. There he is, Sterling Ball. Take the rest of the day off, why don't you? All right,
All guests appear via the Traeger Grills hotline.
I can take the rest of the day off. Take tomorrow off too, Sterling, if that's all right. Sold a lot of trucks for next year already. It's unbelievable. All right, we are over, but that was worth it. Sterling Ball, Big Papa Smokers, releasing the King of the Smoker list. Highlights to include Chris Lilly, Scott Key, my guy Scott Nelson from Pigskin, Shake and Bake is in, bunch of Swines, the American Royal Invitational winner from England is in, just to name a few. Here's the question, is Dave Bosca going to King of the Smoker? We'll report back next week on this show. We sure will. Quickly, let me talk to you about Southside Market and Barbecue. Attention, folks in the business of barbecue. Let me tell you a little bit about Southside first. Established in 1882, Southside Market and Barbecue, the oldest barbecue joint in Texas. They've been owned and operated by the same family for 3 generations. They offer premium Central Texas barbecue products, slow smoked over real wood, shipping, distributing, manufacturing sausages for companies across the U.S. From food trucks to multi-chain restaurants, Southside Sausage can be on your menu too. All meats processed in the on-site USDA-inspected facility, a trusted partner with a focus on quality and authenticity. Wholesale options available. Shipping nationwide via the FedEx, or set it up through food service distribution like Cisco, US Foods, or Martin Foods. Co-packaging capable from research and development to package completion. They can follow your recipe or help you develop something brand new from scratch. Private labeling opportunities also available. You've heard me talk about that for weeks now. Here's what you do. You visit SouthsideMarket.com for more information. And while you're at SouthsideMarket.com, use promo code BBQ Central. That's one word, BBQ Central, for 10% off all online orders. Specifically for you live listeners and podcasters only. That's 10% off all online orders when you visit SouthsideMarket.com, and at checkout use code BBQ Central, all lowercase, all one word, BBQ Central. It's Southside Market and Barbecue. Try the beef sausage. Oh, you're in for a treat. We're back to wrap the show. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Hey, what's up? This is JM, host of the Celebrity Grill podcast on iTunes, and you're listening to the Barbecue Central Radio Network. All barbecue and grilling, all the time.
Whole packers, full racks, legs and thighs, injecting butts. If you've never heard this before, you might think you found the best XXX show ever. Let's get back to the most homoerotic host out there today. Greg Rempe.
All right, running back here to wrap the show. Thanks again to Sterling Ball from Big Papa Smokers for joining me last segment and releasing King of the Smoker names. That's right, first time you heard them, revealed right here on the show. Go ahead, podcasters. Hit me an email during the course of the week. Let me know out of that list who you think has the best shot at winning King of the Smokers. Maybe you'll win a prize. Who doesn't love free stuff? I love free stuff. All the way back in the first hour, Bob Trudnak, Barbecue Guru, Tuffy Stone, Cool Smoke, and Barbecue Hall of Famer. Big Mo Kason from Mo Kason's Barbecue. Mo was calling from West Australia, shipping for lumberjacks, I think he said. Mo, was that right? Were you fishing for lumberjacks? In the second hour, we caught up with longtime sponsor of this show and the 30th annual Jack Daniel's World Barbecue Champion, Dave Bosca, Butcher Barbecue, and we went to the bullpen and called Sterling Ball in, and he released the names of the final King of the Smoker. There will not be any more as it is currently set up. Smithfield taking over, moving it to New Orleans, going to be a completely different setup. So you're going to have to play your way into that. More on that as time wears on, but this will be the final King of the Smoker the way it is currently established. So thanks again to Sterling Ball, BigPapaSmokers.com, his website. Big show for you next Tuesday, as always. September 11th, 2001. I will never forget. Don't forget to tune in to WINT Radio this coming Friday around 7:30 a.m. Eastern for your weekly visit from me. I get interviewed. That's fun. But until then, this is your program host and proud U.S. American Greg Rempe saying good night now.